Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Retro Cup and a very interesting Pokemon that now got buffed for this cup as well, which is going to be a Molga with the new move Acrobatics. This Pokemon will be very strong in this current meta, as now here are Steel types not allowed, which for example cleans up something like the Galarian Stunfisk, as well as Fairy types, as well as Dark types are not allowed for this meta. So we are going to play here a team with the Sazop of Dubwool, trying to beat especially something like the Frostus with our backline here. And we're going to have in the back our Shadow variant of the Regirock. Normal variant is most likely a little bit better, but actually Shadow variant also picks up some more kills that are kind of interesting, as you can go ahead and go just straight for the what's called Stone Edge against, for example, Aurorus in this meta, which will be very interesting, as Stone Edge then would be able to knock them out, while before you had to go for a Focus Blast. So there are actually some benefits from having a Shadow variant of the Regirock in this meta right now. As you're going to see here, a double debuffed Stone Edge, still going to do quite a bit of damage, I would say, but we're going to be able to now shield up the incoming Brave Bird from the opponent, and there's not a lot that they can really do about this anymore, as you can go ahead and go for a double debuffed Focus Burst. A normal one would of course one-shot the opponent, and we can go for a Stone Edge, which is going to destroy this first opponent's Pokemon here as well. As a Regirock, it would be able to sweep, but of course we can do it a little bit faster with the Molga's Thundershock damage. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to have here the Molga against the Kofak Regas. This is something that I don't like too much, but I'm going to try to catch the Shadow Ball onto my Dubwool, which of course didn't work out at all, but they're still going to throw here, which is really nice for me, because like this I'm going to be able to at least get some extra energy here already. We can take some energy from the opponent, and I will be able to now do a ton of damage against the opponent's Quagsire here with my Dubwool. Luckily it's a Shadow variant, because a Shadow variant still does knock me out with one Mud Bomb, but still going to take enough damage from Body Slam and Fast Move damage here that they are forced to shield one more time here, and I can still get to another one. So they basically should be shieldless after this one here, and they are, allowing me to go into my Molga. I know that I'm going to be able to win CMP, and I know that I have an Acrobatic stored, and we can say goodbye to the Quagsire, allowing us to get a 2-shield advantage, and now Regirock is going to have a great time here, as you're going to be able to shield up the incoming Dark Pulse from the opponent. One Stone Edge going to do so much damage. I actually didn't think that there would be already another charge move, but it is fine. As they're going to shield this one up as well, they're going to swap out into a normal Ninetales here. And we can say goodbye to that one, as it's going to knock them out straight away. And a Stone Edge here now going to do so much damage against the Kofak Regas as well. Boom. Not knocking them out, but the fast move damage already would have been enough to knock them out, and they already basically forfeited here. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to have a Molga against a Deoxys in the lead. This is kinda, yeah, two ways. You have like the fast move, which is going to be resisted, but they're definitely going to have something like the Thunderbolt or the Rock Slide, which is going to be a little bit tricky, especially the Rock Slide. But here we were able to hit one Acrobatics, and this Acrobatics is going to put them into range for one Body Slam. As they're going to reveal here that they're going to have the Thunderbolt here, this is going to allow us now to definitely have a better matchup later on with our Emolga, and we're gonna get out the Dragonair, which is actually a pretty difficult Pokemon to deal with for this team. But like this, we're most likely going to have a pretty okayish time still, as we can try to go for one Discharge against them as well. Can we go there in time? We actually can get there, which is kind of wild. And now we can just basically go all in for our Regirock, which is going to be an interesting one. I'm just gonna swap into my Regirock, try to get as much energy as possible, and just try to lock on them down. They still had another move, but I can shield this move up. It's going to be the Body Slam from the opponent, which I shouldn't have shielded up then. I thought it was the Awkward Tail. And they're going to catch the move onto the Deoxys here right now, which is fine. I had to go for a move anyway. I didn't want to get countered down either, so let's take a look what's coming in. It's going to be the Lickitung. Can we now one-shot the opponent with one Focus Blast? This is going to be super effective, and it's going to be Shadow bonus, but it's just barely not enough to knock them out. You have to try to get enough energy here for another charge move as well. They're going to go for the Power Whip, but we sadly don't get there. Now it's if we can catch the move or not, but they go straight for the charge move. And this is going to be it for this game here. Great play there by the opponent in general. Just this tiny bit was still needed to win this game here, but it's still okay. Let's take a look at the next game. Again, another Deoxys defense in the lead. I'm not too surprised here, because Dark types are not really a thing anymore. It's definitely something that is solid that they can play, as well as like Fairy types would also sometimes be an issue with the counter fast move. But here we're going to now be able to shield up the move from the opponent. It's going to be a Rock Slide, but we again hit the Acrobatics already, and I'm going to go ahead and go straight for the Discharge, trying to get my shield back basically, or realign. They're going to shield it up, and I can swap out now into the Dubwool, which would be able to go for the Body Slam here to knock out the opponent. But they're gonna go for the Psycho Boost, and now they're going to actually stay in, so I can go for the Body Slam right now. Do they shield this move up? They do shield this move up, so I have a shield advantage right now. They're going to swap out into the Jellicent, allowing me to go for one payback here, which is going to do some pretty decent damage against them as well. And now we can go ahead and go even for another Body Slam, while they're going to go for their Surf most likely at the same time. So far, so pretty decent to be fair. I will be able to let this move go through from the opponent. They have a ton of energy, but I can now go into my Emolga and just Thunder Shock them down. They're still gonna get to one move, which I'm going to shield up, but I'm gonna get out of this matchup here with a ton of energy left. And this might be the way to go. Let's take a look at this. We're going to get out the Frosters, where we can go ahead and go for one charge move. But no, they're going to catch the move onto their Deoxys, which is fine for me because I still have my Regirock. And Regirock going to one-shot the opponent here with one Stone Edge. And even though we're Shadow, we still can survive one Shadow Ball from them with ease here, to be fair. As the Stone Edge going to one-shot the opponent for sure. And this is going to be a very good game. Let's take a look at the next game. One of the players that actually hit rank 1 in the world quite frequently here. Showcase their teams as well already before, I think. But yeah, we're going to have here the Lickitung in the lead. We're going to be able to catch the move, which is pretty nice for me, as we're going to get the Body Slam there onto a Bulkia Pokemon with a double. They're going to run the Lantern in the back, which is of course a fairly decent Pokemon, but this player is really strong here, as you're going to see as well later on. But we will be able to go for a little bit more Body Slam spam against them. One more Body Slam should be enough to knock out the opponent's Lantern, but I think they're going to go for the Thunderbolt here to knock me out. But no, they're going to bait me. And they have way more energy than I thought, as they're going to have the Thunderbolt already. I can still go for the Body Slam and try to realign. It's going to be a little bit of a tough spot for us, but they're going to actually let this move go through and allowing us now to go into our Regirock. And now it really is a guessing game on what they want to do here. I'm going to shit up the first move because it's going to be the Power Whip. I guess here it would have been better if you would have had the non-Shadow variant of the Regirock, because they would have been able to take this move pretty easily. But like this, we're going to go ahead and go for the Stone Edge. I'm going to try to now catch the move and maybe go for the Discharge at the same time, and this worked out as well, but they're going to have a Dragonair in the back, and yeah, Dragonair seems to be an issue for this team. Like, Dragonair definitely is one of the Pokemon that I found a little bit difficult to deal with, but here we still actually have a chance because we had a CMP here, and they're going to shield this move up, but because the opponent, of course, knows what they're doing, they were undercharging this by quite a bit, which will allow them now to get to another charge move before I get to my second Stone Edge. I had one Stone Edge stored, but not enough energy for me to get to the next one. We would have been basically there by one turn earlier if they didn't undercharge, but great play by this player there. And here we're going to see some interesting matchups as well with the Altaria. How do you play against Altaria? Usually what I do with the Emolga anyway is I just go for Acrobatics and then dip, because Emolga is pretty squishy, but look at the damage it deals. Like, it puts them perfectly into the Body Slam range, which was like one combination that I really liked about this team. Emolga just chipping opponents and then Dubwool just spamming Body Slams against them to knock them out. Really worked out well, as you can see here already. And in comes now an Arbok, which is something that is a little bit spicier. You might have seen my showcase about this Pokemon as well on my channel for the Single Type Cup. But here we're gonna now going to be able to go ahead and go for our Regirock, which will definitely resist this Acid Spray. But you see already the damage output from the Arbok is kinda significant now after the double debuff of our defense. I'm going to let them... Yeah, I'm going to shield this move up. It could have been a Dark Pulse, so I don't really want to risk it. I'm going to swap out down to my Emolga, as we're going to get out the Jellicent, which is going to be good, but you see already the lag was insane. Yeah, I don't know how much energy the opponent has at this point of time. So, I don't know how much energy they got out of this, so I'm going to let this move go through here as well. Going to be the Shadow Ball, and I'm going to just rely on my Regirock. Going for a Stone Edge here to knock out the opponent's Jellicent. And we need one more Stone Edge to get to the knockout for the Arbok, because Arbok is a pretty squishy Pokemon. And we're going to have a CMP here, but because we have still one shield left, this is going to be a fairly easy game for us, as we can go for the Stone Edge here. And we should be able to knock out the opponent's Arbok, and this is going to be a good game. Let's take a look at the next opponent. This was actually the first opponent that I played, I remember that one. As we're going to see them walking around there with their Toxicroak. Toxicroak is a core breaker for the backline, but not really for the lead, and they know about this as well. And we're gonna get a core breaker again for both my lead as well as for the Regirock in the back, which might be actually a fairly decent Pokemon in this meta, while it's not really highly ranked. The normal Stunfisk has actually quite a lot of play, because you're going to be able to beat both like Regirock as well as flying type Pokemon. You're going to encounter quite often something like Noctowl most likely, as well as a Pidgeot, going to be fairly decent in this meta. So definitely something that you can use this normal Stunfisk here, because it's definitely a Pokemon that can be fairly decent. But here we're going to be able to at least go for one body slam again. Gonna get them super low, and they're going to be able to not do another charge move here, but I will be able to get another charge move off. And because they're going to give me a free fast move here, I'm going to shield this move up as well and try to realign, because I feel like this might be the better play to go for, because my team is kind of weak against this Pokemon. But they're going to swap out now into the Toxic Rock, putting them now into discharge range for my Emolga, which is really good for me. That's going to knock them out here for sure. And we're going to see right now the opponent going back into, no, they're gonna go into a Galvantula, and look at that acrobatics here. We're gonna get the full knockout here, boom, acrobatics going to knock out the Galvantula. The Stunfisk has nowhere to go anywhere as well. Discharge is not enough for Emolga, and Emolga is sweeping the entire team. Triple kill here for this Pokemon. Kinda wild how strong Emolga now is since acrobatics got added. Before, like, you had no chance to do anything against this Galvantula there, but thanks to acrobatics, we were able to one-shot it, which is wild. Horrific lead against us. Frostus is, of course, one of the Pokemons that you really don't want to face here, but we're at least going to be able to go ahead and go into our say-so of the Dubwool, which is the main reason why you want to have Dubwool over something, for example, what's called Vigoroth, for example, because Dubwool is better against those Ghost-type Pokemon, not like the Frosters. Here we're going to now have the opponent in Pokemon that don't really want to face in this current situation here with the Dewgong, because we don't really have the best matchup right now. Like, it's a good matchup for the Regirock usually, but now the opponent is already so low that I cannot farm him down anymore. So I'm forced to go into the Emolga and try to go for the full farm down here, but I of course have to shield again because they're going to have the Icy Wind. So I'm going to try to get some extra energy here onto my Regirock as they're going to swap out into their Lickitung. You know already that the Focus Blast most likely going to knock them out after a little bit of fast move damage still. But we're gonna go ahead and go for bait first. They're going to not call the bait and just shield it up. In comes the power whip from the opponent, and I think I would be able to outspeed them if I get the bait out of here again. Let's take a look at this. They're gonna be able to call this bait this time around, and I have to go for the Stone Edge here at this point of time. And I have to try to swap now into my Emolga. But sadly, the switch clock was barely not up yet, and the Power Whip is going to take out our Regirock, as you're going to see the Frost is coming in. But there's still some hope, because this Acrobatics is doing so much damage. Can we farm them all the way down? No, we cannot, and I'm pretty sure if I just got this one more extra fast move in here, I would have been able to win this game, which is kind of wild, as we were kind of wild there for most of the part. Let's take a look at the second to last game here. We're going to encounter another player running Swampert in the lead. Horrific lead usually, but we can still at least deal a little bit with it. We cannot swap out here because you see already the Regirock in the back. Unless you have an energy advantage on the Regirock, this is not really a good matchup for you. But we were able to at least get one shield by the opponent. I'm going to shield up the, I'm not going to shield up first move here, but I'm going to shield up the second move from the opponent as well. I can overfarm by a little bit, and we can go ahead and go for the Acrobatics. And this is going to be fairly decent for us, because they're going to let this move go through, and it's going to be an instant knockout against the opponent, as they're going to get out of Frosters here right now. They're forced to swap out after this one, for sure. They are forced to swap after this Avalanche, but they are not doing it yet, but they're going to do it now, and now we're gonna get out the Charizard, where we can go for the Body Slam spam, and that's why Dubwool is so insane as a safe swap. All the energy right now, it all comes together. Body Slam spam, gonna get the final shield of the opponent. We're gonna still be able to knock out the opponent's Charizard as well, which is even wilder, as we are just able to spam those Body Slams super fast, as we can now go ahead and go into the Regirock. One Stone Edge is all we need, and this is going to be it for this game. Boom! Final game for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video so far. If you did, please leave a like. We're going to see now the Emolga against the Frosters again. Horrific lead again. We don't really get the best leads for our team, but still it worked out pretty well for me, to be fair here. As they're going to be able to now let this move go through again. We have to see what they have in the back. And they're going to swap out into a Lickitung, which usually at least I would say is a good matchup for me, but not if my HP is already that low. I should have most likely shielded up the move from the Frosters instead of the Lickitung here, but of course I didn't know that they had that in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Body Slam spam here right now and hope that this is enough to 3-shot the opponent, which is barely not the case, I feel like. And like this, I'm going to be forced to swap out here again. I'm gonna swap out into my Regirock, and they're gonna go still for their Body Slam right now. But I will be able to let this move go through, and we're gonna see the opponent having their own Regirock in the back. This is now a guessing game. They have a little bit more of energy than the opponent, but they're going to still be able to just go for Stone Edge and do a ton of damage against me. So it's going to be a tough one to still come back from that horrible lead there as well. But here we will see the Focus Burst coming through, going to be shielded up by us. We can go for our own Stone Edge. And if this is a Focus Burst, I would be able to win this game as well if they're going to let this move go through, but they're not going to do that. They're going to go ahead and go for their own charge move here. It's going to be another Focus Burst from the opponent. Now it's all down to basically the Emolga. The Emolga has to carry this entire game and have to try to catch, which didn't work out at all. And like this, I can still go for the payback at least, but I have no chance of winning this game. Like, there's nothing that I can do here anymore, as I can still go for one discharge, but this is not going to be enough to knock out a Regirock, and of course one Stone Edge will be able to one-shot us. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. There are 2 videos on the screen right now. Check them out if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.